It's a beautiful day today. The sky is blue and clear. The sun is shining. Spring is in full bloom right now. And I wanted to talk to you guys about your nature journal and how to make a nature journal. In our new MS Teens online classroom, there's a link there. It says like week 3. And underneath that title, there is a link to a little video of me showing you how to make your own nature journal, how to put it together yourself, and how to decorate your cover. Once you have it made, if you haven't yet, go check it out, then what you need to do is fill it with things that you discover about nature. A nature journal is a great place to record things that you see and know about the natural world around you. So that can be things that you see and know about plants, animals, the weather, rocks, and it's also a great place to put your questions. So if you find something, you can draw a picture of it using your eyes to observe what's real. Write down anything you know about it, and then you can actually ask some questions about it as well that you can study later. So I thought, what better place to look for things to write about in our nature journal than outside. So here we are outside today. I'm really lucky because where I live, there's a lot of nature. So you can probably hear it right now. The birds are singing. There's plants all over. And I have a real mixture of plants where I live. Some plants were brought here from far away because they were found to be really useful or really beautiful. People brought them from far away and planted them in their yards. That can be vegetables or flowers or anything like that. And there's other plants that are also beautiful and useful, but they've been here in Sooke for a very, very, very long time. And in my garden, in my yard, I have a real mix of both. I have things that were brought here from far away and things that have always been here. Either one of those is good to do a nature journal, but I like to really focus on those plants and animals that have always been here. So we're going to take a look around and see what we can find. Please join me. Also, if you don't have a big yard like me, it's okay, because nature is everywhere. Just looking out your window from your living room, you'll probably see trees, clouds, mountains. If you look down on the pavement outside, in between the cracks in the road or the cracks in the sidewalks, you can find mosses and other little plants. And if you just listen, you'll probably hear some signs of nature as well. You just have to look really, really, really closely to see that nature is all around us. So let's go looking around for some plants and animals. Look here at this gorgeous fern. Do you see this beautiful plant? It has long, long fronds. That's the fancy name for a fern's leaf, are fronds. And right in the middle, can you see those furry little things? They look like furry little caterpillars or little octopus legs. Right here. Those are the new baby fronds of the fern that are just uncurling, and when they get to be their full length, they'll look just like these long fronds of a fern. I think ferns are totally fascinating, and I bet you'll see lots of them in the forests around Sooke. Underneath here too is another plant, and I don't know what they're going to become. I have a guess, and I think these plants are going to become something called a starflower, but I don't know for sure. It's these little ones here. That would be a good thing to put in a nature journal, is to draw a picture of this plant and then come and visit it in about a month or so and see what it turns into and what kind of flowers it gets. And then I could draw the flowers later. Hi friends, now this is a little planter, and inside are a bunch of plants that are wild plants that I've put in this pot so I could raise them and take care of them. Would you like to look at some of them? So these plants here, if you look very carefully, you can see how inside each of these little plants there is a little tiny droplet of water. I'll try to get a better view of that in a moment. This one here, with the little water droplets in it, is called a sedum. And it's a succulent, which means if you gently, gently squish the leaves, they're kind of chubby and they're filled with juice, like an aloe vera plant or like a cactus. This one here, this beautiful leaf that kind of looks like a heart, is a violet, a different kind of wild violet. If we look really closely at the face of the flower, you can see that there's 2 petals up, 2 petals to the side like a bumblebee's wings, and 1 big petal at the bottom, and there's a little yellow inside. And these are all violets, different kind of wild violet. These ones look like a clover, don't they? Let's see how many leaves they have. 1, 2, 3 on the end of a stalk. And I don't see any flowers on them yet. But you'll notice that the plant is growing with this long, long vine called a runner. And look what it was trying to do. It was trying to come out of the pot, drip down, and down, down, down to the earth, where it started to make little baby plants that are rooting themselves into the soil. And that's how this plant spreads. Do you know what this plant is called? It's a strawberry. This is a wild strawberry. It's a cousin of a strawberry that you would eat as a snack, but the berries are much, much tinier. Look at this new leaf, not even yet unfolding. In the front, this is a different type of sedum plant, again from the wild. I love how shiny the leaves are and how tiny they are. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 very different kinds of plants, all with different leaves and leaf shapes. That's important to remember when you do your nature journal, is that every plant is a little bit different. And look what we found, friend. Another wild plant. This is another violet. This violet is a little bit bigger than the other ones I showed you, but look at those petals. I think a violet would be a wonderful thing to put in a nature journal. Especially look at those leaves again, just like the shape of a heart. So many blossoms. It is one of the first flowers that comes out in spring, and you can find them, if you're very lucky, in the forests in Zug. Alright, here are some more plants that would be wonderful to draw a picture of in a nature journal. Down here we have another sedum, and that's another succulent, which means its leaves are thick and kind of chubby and filled with moisture. Don't they look like little green roses all over? This one is called stone crop, I believe. I could be wrong. Here's another violet. This one isn't white like the other one, but let's see, it has 1, 2 petals on top, 2 petals on the side like wings, and 1 in the middle. And the leaves, sure enough, they look like little hearts. And there's a lot of little violets all over here. Here's a bigger one. And if you had grown-up help and it's a wild violet, you can actually use the leaves and the blossoms to make tea. You could use these leaves to make a really yummy tea. And the blossoms you could use even to decorate cakes and cookies and make fancy salad. Here's some more violets over here. And I don't know if you can see, way in the back is a little tiny plant. Here. What does that make you think of? Well, this little tiny plant is a very tiny baby maple tree. And when this grows up, it could be a large, large, large maple tree. But right now, it's about the size of my finger. Doesn't the leaf look like the leaf on the Canada flag? And this little plant here is a succulent as well. Can you hear that? It's actually quite spiky. It feels much like a hedgehog. And this plant has a really cute name. It's called Hens and Chicks. Hens and Chicks. Because the main plant has these little tiny baby plants that come off it. That's how they reproduce. And I guess somebody thought that this big plant looked like a mother hen, and the little ones look like their little chicks following along. So many plants to enjoy and so many colors to see. When you're drawing in your nature journal, the idea is to really look closely at the plants. Oh, look at this. I didn't see that before, friends, but look who's come out to say hello. Let's get him off these spiky things. Did you see him? He must have just fallen out of the sky or something. I didn't see him before. Do you know what this is?